And we're going to start with the last three here, but we're going to start with 138, 140, and 149. And I need lights, and I need this. Oops, that's the wrong one. 38. I will give you thanks with all my heart. I will give my thanks. Whoops. My thanks with all my heart as I bow down towards your house. Now, this means that this is what they were supposed to do when they were in captivity, okay? For your love and truth, you exalted us according to your words. You made us bold with strength. Now all the kings on earth will give thanks to you when they hear your promise. For your love and truth exalted us according to your words. You made us bold with strength. Let me see if there's no. I'm looking for the next. I'm looking for how they're sent away. So there has to be. There has to be something missing here. And that is, is that enough missing? No. Then you sent us into captivity. Then you showed yourself, or made yourself known to Nebuchadnezzar and his people and his kingdom. Now all the kings on earth will give thanks to YHVH. Then when they hear of your promise, that's Jesus, about being redeemed, then they will praise you, for great is their glory in you. For though YHVH they are forgiven too. For through YHVH they are, I read it completely wrong. Then they will praise you, for great is their glory in you. For through YHVH they are forgiven too, meaning this is to go with his promise up here, so I better color that. He regards the humble his, but the proud he knows are not his. For I have walked among our troubled. For I walk among our captives. Our captives. For I walk among our captives. But you will redeem us by stretching forth your hand. Now your hand will bring us near you. I know your hand will bring us near you. Now I know, if I put that words in there, if I have that understanding, these are David's words after he's been told. For you will redeem us by stretching forth your hand. Now your hand will bring us near you. He's told them about the returning of Jerusalem. For YHVH will accomplish what concerns us. His love is everlasting for us. We are not to turn away. I think I added these words here. I think I added these words that it was word, do not leave. Yeah, it was do not leave from his promises. And I changed it to we are not to turn away from his promises. And we are not to turn away from his promises. Okay. Now, I'm going to say these are words by Daniel after he is told they will I think that's correct. I really do. I know this is, like I said, this definitely says that they're in captivity, okay? That's why I put down here, for I walk among our captives. No, but here, it goes from here to here. I'm just trying to think of Daniel, what I know about Daniel, the story of Daniel. When would this happen, or when would he write? I would say after. These could actually go into Daniel's text. Now for this psalm, and I have to cut this in and put it in the psalm, the ones that I've just done. I've done this video twice, and I missed this one again. I got them out of order, and I guess I'm not thinking all that well today here, but the object is this is going to be Psalms 140, and I can tell because I didn't give it a name yet. Rescue me, YV, from evil men, and keep me from violent men who devise evil things for us, for they continually stir up trouble for me. They sharpen their tongues like a serpent, with poison under their tongues. They have proposed to trip up my feet by hiding traps for me. I said to YV, my God, listen to my petition and shield my head in the day of battle. Do not grant their will. Do not grant their will, I guess, upon me. Oh, yeah, I can't have that. That's in the next text. Do not grant their will upon the heads of those who do not grant their will upon the heads of those around me. Do not grant their will do not grant their will, and then upon the heads of those who surrounding me, of those surrounding me. Shield my head in the day of battle. And he shielded me in the day of battle, and did not grant their will upon me, upon us. Because I don't need this here. Do not grant their will upon us, nor of those that's surrounding them, nor of those among us. Nor those among us. Let the mischief of their lips be on them, and cast. Let their evilness from their lips. Nor those among us. Let the evilness from their lips come upon them. Let their evils from their lips don't need either one. Let their evils from their lips cast them into the deep, cast them into a deep pit from which they cannot get out. Let a slander not be established on earth, nor the evil and violent man. For I know why we will maintain our lives, even our afflicted and poor. I would say redeem. And this would have to be Jesus. Even our afflicted and poor. The righteous will give thanks to you, and the righteous will give thanks to you, and the humble will live in your presence. And it would be his presence. We're going to heaven to be in Jesus' kingdom. Okay. Now, trying to place the text, and I'm not seeing anything that's giving me any indication. Well, here, shield my head in the battle. Now we know we have a king. Okay. So which king was it? Which king was it? Because it didn't sound like anything had already been left. So I don't think it can exist from here down, okay? This didn't come from there because it doesn't talk about any of the captives yet. But there were battles. I'm going to have to go through and see which battles it would be. But I think this is a king from Judah. So I guess that's what I'm going to label it as of right now. A king from Judah, an unknown king for Judah. And I think that's it, and then I can move on to the next one. But they know about this. They know about this. I'll have to look up the battles again. And I can do this here. Okay. I named this from words from King Jehu, naming Yah as Jesus. I did that because here is the Hebrew word that is in the Hebrew text. And this is very important because when I put these words into the verses and then look for what the verses are telling us. Example, Elohim is in your Bible as God, but if you replaced all the text for God in Genesis 1 with the word creator instead of our God created, our creator created, then our creator made the heavens and earth, our creator made the grass and then made the terrain, and he's very much a creator. And then when you look at, and I did, and I really did, I took all the verses that had Elohim and put the word Elohim in there. And then when I read them with the word creator, there was only a few times that it didn't make sense. In fact, it made more sense as our creator because it talks a few times, a few of those verses actually talk about him creating again. So that was the clincher for me. Now, when it comes to the letters YAH, those are our English words for the Hebrew lettering. This is very important into why I've been adding this name into a lot of the places where we know it's talking about Jesus, but they don't have his name. In fact, that reminds me, when I just got done reading this one, near him. Yeah, not near you. We're talking about promises and forgiving. I don't know why that just stuck in my head like that. Well, it would be, yeah. And I goofed up there. Yep. I have to do this again. That macro sticks like glue. I mean, it just... Yeah, here. That needs to be added in this one. Yes. Okay. Now that one's done. Now let me get back to, I don't know why that happens, but it happens. Okay. I was explaining his name here and what this text does. This is the verse that really defines, because if I say we are to, I think I added this when I added this up here. Yes, I did. We are to praise Yah and sing a new song of him and praise him in our gathering. Now this would have been synagogue, but I think that's I would rather have gatherings because it includes their celebration. And when they're gathered around for his on his Passover, he made a statute. In the Passover meal is explained in when they leave Israel or when they leave Egypt. But in the Sinai, our Creator told them that day and 7 more days they are to celebrate, which means there's actually 8 days that they're supposed to celebrate his passing over them. So you have to include that in the gatherings and just not say it's synagogue, because it's more of a do this in every place that when you gather. And let Israel's be glad in his king for us. Now this is defining our king for us. Now did I change the word king? Our maker. I changed the word maker to king. Be glad in his king for us. Okay, and I did that because this king here. Okay. Let all Israel be glad in his maker for us. Let the people in Jerusalem rejoice in their king. So it's his king, he the one that designated through David's son's son will come our king. Now, let all the people in Jerusalem rejoice for their king and praise his name. Now, the only name that we can see here in the text is right here. And this is why this one is probably the most important psalm that speaks to the definition for Yah. Okay? For YHVH takes pleasure in his people, for his righteous ones will be exalted by his glory. And I think I didn't change that back either. See, it's exalted in glory. And I changed it, will be exalted. I haven't finished. Exalted by his glory. Jesus, they will be exalted by his glory. And they will sing with gladness, and with a two-edged sword execute his judgment, or execute his justice and punishment for our evil people, to execute his judgment that is written. This is an honor for all his righteous ones. Praise Yah. Now, when it says that here, with a two-edged sword execute his justice. Now, his justice is talking about, one, the commandments say you're not to turn away from our Creator because you need to be forgiven to enter heaven. And this is what evil people are, is the ones who have left for another Creator. And what here is the punishment. It is in his laws. If you go looking, it'll be in his laws that says you're supposed to kill those people. And I was just trying to think of a story that I could line up in my head real quick and tell you what had happened. But the object here is you're supposed to kill the evil people and to execute his judgment that is written. That's what I'm saying. That was his judgment written. This is why it's his justice. And this is an honor for all his righteousness. When you obey our Creator, you have honor in doing this. And this is your honor, passing out his judgment. Now, the king that, why I put King Jehu, naming Yah as Jesus, is because he is the king that went around killing them in Israel, in the kingdom of Israel. I mean, he did carry out some justice, our Creator's justice. And we have another psalm from him. And if you watch that one, it was just that I tell you the story of why Jehu, I mean, it was when I was trying to put the text with what's going on here, and this was before I really realized that they were writings from different kings. I was trying to think of who would write about killing people. And then I remembered that Jehu was even prophesied of coming. And that was when Jeroboam was given the kingdom over the 10 tribes, called the kingdom of Israel. He was worried about his people leaving and going back to Jerusalem, and then he would lose his kingdom. What happened was that he went up to Damascus, seen how that king had set up an altar up there, and then he had it replicated down in Bethel. So why the hell you people got the name Church of Bethel? I don't know. But because you absolutely don't know the story. Then our Creator sent a prophet there, and when the king went to approach his altar, he sat there and he prophesied that the priest of the priests that you're setting up to worship this God, he will come and burn their bones. Now, I think Jeroboam even stretched out his hand, and his arm froze out straight, and then the prophet had to ask our Creator to relax his arm. But it was years later that Jeroboam became king, because I can't remember if it was Elijah, I think it was. Maybe Elijah. Elijah, because Elijah sent his attendant to pour oil on Jehu's head and name him king. And the first thing he did was the commanders all rallied around him, and he went back to find the king that was in Samaria, and the first thing he did was killed him because he didn't believe in our Creator. He was letting all them altars set up, and then he went down and he called all the priests for them to meet down in their priests to meet down in Bethel, and then he went in and had his men slaughter all of them. And then he dug up the bones of the past priests, because they had a special graveyard there. And he pulled out all their bones and burnt them on the altar. So this is my kind of guy and his kind of justice, and this is the only reason why I'm saying he would know it is an honor for all his righteous ones. Okay, that's unique. You should really learn the text, because you would probably read this and not know anything about King Jehu. But the thing here is that's why I can say that this is written by him, and very unique.